James Madison square off for meeting number 8 all time, but number 3 as members of the Sun Belt. A very pleasant good evening, everyone. I'm Kurt Dudley, joined by former JMU women's soccer coach Dave Lombardo. And Coach Lombardo, in the world of soccer, these are high-octane offenses for both these teams.
Absolutely, and they come at it in different ways, Kurt. Marshall has a lot of attacking vitality and confidence, and they throw numbers forward. JMU's a little bit more judicial. They kind of poke until they find their chance, and then they get at it.
Well, a couple of ways to kind of look at this too, Dave, is the Thundering Herd averaging 3.67 goals per game. That's number 1 in the country. The Dukes are number 5 at 2.83, but a couple of discrepancies here. JMU number 10 in shot accuracies. Marshall is 80th in the country in shot accuracy. So they will throw those numbers forward. We're going to see him take a lot of shots today, although we can tell you that the number 1 shot maker in the country is not in the lineup tonight. Alvaro Garcia Pascual gets more than 5.5 shots off per game. He is not in the matchup this evening. But who is in the contest? Well, bringing on the NCAA by storm is this product from Pennsylvania, Marco Silva. Silva, a 5'11 redshirt freshman who is number 5 in the country with 7 goals scored. He has 2 game-winning goals already this season. When you're 6-0, you're going to have a couple of those opportunities as well. And he is tied for number 7th in the country in that category of game-winning goals. For the Dukes of James Madison, well, he came on in the last, well, he had a pretty good match all in all, but he was the decisive playmaker in the final 15 seconds that is, here
exactly,
on Tuesday night.
UVA, right?
Yeah, but Rodrigo Robles came up with a goal in the final 14.9 seconds. His second goal of the year, but the first goal at home at Centera Park in 2 seasons. So he was happy to do that for his Dukes of James Madison, and he spent part of his career actually in the Mountaineer State with the West Virginia Mountaineers. Of course, that's not Marshall, but he's got some familiarity with that Mountaineer State. So we've got a great matchup for you, folks. We're glad you're along with us here on ESPN Plus this evening. It's the number 2 Marshall Thundering Herd, the number 9 Dukes of James Madison, and we'll have it all for you with the starting lineups in just a moment after these messages on ESPN Plus.
Because it meant the one with heated seats and a hybrid engine.
Because our daughter's got only 3 credits to go before graduation.
Because it means one less stop before heading home. For over 75 years, Commonwealth One has been the one, committed to helping our members and our communities thrive. So whether you're a longtime resident or just new to our community, come home to the best banking experience you've ever known.
Commonwealth One, for you, for life.
Behind every team is a great community. Door Gorilla is proud to be the official garage door provider for JMU Athletics and proud to support their community. When you need a garage door, call 540-740-DOOR and show your support for JMU this season. Go Dukes!
At Dick Myers Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram, we service all makes and models, so no matter what you drive, we've got you covered. We're only a mile from JMU, and we know your schedule is busy, so when you drop off your car, our shuttle service will get you to where you need to be and pick you up when your car is ready. Stop by or call today to schedule your next appointment at Dick Myers Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram, locally owned and operated, where customers send their friends.
Are you new to the area, hoping to make Harrisonburg or Rockingham County home for the first time? Or are you a longtime resident looking to move or find a more suitable rental home? Look no further. Let Reiner Rentals help make the search for your dream home simple and enjoyable. Whether you're looking for a single-family home, townhouse, duplex, condo, or downtown loft, let us help you find the perfect home with personalized service and local area knowledge. Because at Reiner Rentals, it's not just a rental, it's home.
If you want your trade-in to be worth more down the road, then shop Toyota, the best resale value brand according to Kelley Blue Book's KBB.com for the 3rd year in a row. On a $45,000 vehicle, see how these Toyotas are predicted to be worth thousands more than the average vehicle after the first 5 years of ownership. That's performance you can count on. Shop local inventory on buyatoyota.com. Toyota, Let's go places.
Take a look at our starting lineups. They're presented to you by McDonald's. And first of all, for the Marshall Thundering Herd, there you look at the starting 11. Again, we've already earmarked Marco Silva as a gentleman to take a quick look at here today. Matthew Bell, one of the top playmakers in all of the country. And Gabriel Perota, the man in goal, he is accustomed to playing the Dukes at his old school. He was at UNCW, the Seahawks, in the Coastal Athletic Conference, now they call it. And he is 2-2 all time against James Madison. We'll talk a little bit more about that. But that Bell and Silva combination, Dave, is one you have to really watch. And Silva will play much more forward, and you'll get kind of Bell as the attacking midfielder. For the Dukes of James Madison, take a look at the starting 11 for James Madison, as Sebastian Conlon will be once again in goal, as he is 12, 7, and 6 all time for the Dukes of JMU, and currently 4-0-2, or 3-0-2 in the this year. No, he is 4-0-2.
4-0-2.
Yeah,
yep.
He is. And the one player to also, Josiah Blanton, will make his 41st consecutive start here for Coach Paul Zazinski of James Madison, as he is guiding the Dukes here in his 6th season. And then you have Chris Grassi in his 7th year, led the Thundering Herd to the national championship in that spring season of 21, the COVID season, if you would. And again, this is a team that will put up a lot of shots, put a lot of pressure on you up front. The Dukes quite much more methodical in their approach. And JMU coming off a 1-1 tie here on Tuesday night against Virginia. That's chipped in, and Conlon comes out to scoop it off the turf. Meanwhile, the Dukes, while the Marshall Thundering Herd broke open a tight game against Cleveland State. 5-0 was that final on Tuesday in Huntington. And here's Southern. You got to watch him. Evan Southern, very sneaky on the attack for James Madison in his 2nd year with the Dukes. A relentless player that pushes forward.
Yeah, he will just run and just run down balls. He's somewhat what I would call almost a defensive forward. He likes to put pressure on the backs to be able to create turnovers.
Demetrius Turner there. And from the left wing, a little defense there on the far side for James Madison. And our first corner kick for the Marshall Thundering Herd. Yeah, Dimitri Turner making his career high 7th start of this season. His prior career best was 5 starts a year ago. So he just actually surpassed that against Virginia, did Turner. Alex Sterngard from Denmark. This Marshall lineup, Marshall roster, features 15 countries. That includes the United States. So very international. Our first ball swung in, bounds around, and James Madison will come out of it with control, forwarding it to Southern just a little too much. But there is Evan. Again, he's going to put on some pace. And easily handling there was Perota.
Well, you know, Kurt, that's really, if you look at the landscape in Division I men's soccer, it's not uncommon to find at least a third of most rosters, if not more. This is a little bit at the other end of it. I think there's something like, I don't know, 23, 24 internationals with that. But, you know, it provides good opportunities, a good cultural value for the American kids as well to be part of all this. Well, and it's entertaining soccer.
Yeah, and it's something, you probably can echo this too, it's something you learn to appreciate when you get a lot of other cultures coming together and playing soccer, which is a world game, obviously.
Yep.
And I'm sure some of your international student athletes were some of those that you really enjoyed having on the team. And they add quite a bit to the flavor of your squad each and every year.
Especially the kids from New Jersey.
That's right. Well, you know, I was going to say.
That's almost a foreign country.
Well, I was going to pick.
Sorry to my friends in the Garden State.
I was going to pick one of the states and call it a different country, so you did it for me. So I appreciate that. I get off the schneid on that one.
I'll get all the hate notes.
That's right. That's okay. Beautiful night here. 74 degrees. A lot different than what we had here on Tuesday evening, although the temperatures may end up in the upper 50s, low 60s by the time we're done here this evening. It is dropping pretty quickly here. We'll be in autumn next week this time. We get a free kick for the Marshall Thundering Herd. In the 5th minute of play. These two programs met a year ago twice. Regular season and in the quarterfinals. Kicked into the 18, and we get an offsides. When they met at the end of the regular season, Marshall won that one in Huntington 2-0. Then 5 days later, they met again in the Sun Belt quarters at Marshall, and the Dukes won that one 1-0. And then JMU ultimately made it into the championship match. Conlon, low liner, trying to connect on the far side. So you have Clay O'Bara, who was decorated a couple times this week, National Player of the Week, also named to the top drawer soccer team of the week, as Conlon has to scramble to keep that one under control. And right there on the attack was Pablo Simon, a 5'8" junior from Spain.
And this is what we've been talking about, Kurt, with Marshall. They like to get the ball out wide, and they'll whip balls in to really put the JMU defense under pressure.
Was Tio Godard on the far side from France with a quick touch, now into the midfield. And circling it back is Stungard.
Yeah, if you look at the set right now, I mean, you've got two players out on each touch line with chalk on their feet right now. They really stretch the field very, very wide.
Yeah, they are what you would call outside the hashes in football.
Yeah.
I mean, they are really to the edge and making it a much bigger field to have to defend. And one of the commonalities of these teams this year, as that's sent back, Robles will go back, and he nearly goes with a sliding tackle, forcing it out to Hai Pinto. Pinto, a freshman defender from Portugal, is the biggest, I think, change for both these programs from last year when they played each other in those two matchups is new personnel on the back line for each.
Yep.
You have a lot of the common folks in both the midfield and as the forwards, but it is that back line that both are kind of reconstructed.
Well, for JMU, there are 3 of the 4 are new faces out there, and for Marshall, at least the goalkeeper is new there, but there may be 1 or 2 other players in the back.
3 out of 4 for them as well.
As well.
Yep. Absolutely. Yeah. Cody Lynn, the sports information director, brought that to our attention very early as we prep for tonight's matchup. But it has been the front line that most people have to be concerned with. There's a good chase by Adam Omish. Turner trying to break it down, and hanging on to it there is Simone. Sends that ahead to Bell. Get 4. There's a ball sliding through and sent back out. Now, that was a good defensive play, but see, there's that carom that comes out, and if a Marshall player is there, which is what they try to do, that's when they counter real quickly.
What this wide offensive set does is it really puts gaps between the defenders and JMU, and right now Marshall is doing a pretty good job of breaking the lines and finding players in between the seams, and that's going to be something that JMU will have to really sort out here fairly quickly.
They stop the clock as a Marshall player goes down on the far side. And they'll restart here into the 9th minute. And those matchups last year, it's very similar to what we're looking at in this matchup tonight. Marshall had 15 shots to JMU's 8 in the Marshall victory.
So Marshall understands that JMU is going to defend in a 4-2-3-1. So they're attacking with only 2 people in the back and playing a 2-4-4. And that's going to be tough matchups for the Dukes in the defensive half of the field.
And you're putting that additional pressure, additional player on already what is a spaced field with the 4 up top. You'll see it there. Once again in the 18, trying to set it up, and that's touched away, but here's the blast, curved, and just around the post. Nice shot there by Marco Silva. As he tries to bend it, just didn't get quite enough of a bend to it. That was an excellent shot, nonetheless.
What I don't know is if he is a dominant left-footed player. Oftentimes, coaches will play players on their opposite side. So him on the right side, because they like to come in on their favored foot and do just that. Try to bend him into the far post upper corner.
Conlon with the goal kick. Silva attended, they have a couple of players from South Kent School, which is up in Connecticut. Dave, are you familiar with that?
I am familiar with it. It's a private school, and they wouldn't allow people like me in there.
They do have a lot of pride in how many players they send to play collegiate soccer. They've got a long list. I did visit their website this week, and they've got a list of where all their alumni are playing currently. We get a foul. We had a good number of fouls in the match against Virginia here in the opening 20 minutes or so. It settled down a little bit by halftime, and the second half was relatively clean.
Still close to 40 fouls during the course of the game, though. That was an unusual 90 minutes.
Virginia came in doing some things, Dave, you were saying that were kind of uncommon, a lot of balls over the top and sending it deep, which usually they're more technical and possessive. All right, this is Obera, the super senior graduate student from Virginia Beach, out of Kellum, has 4 goals this year. Puts it in the 6, and that is cleared out. It'll come back, play Strine back here. He's going to get some pressure right away, but handles it very well. Wide it goes to Obera. Obera sends it up to Southern. Southern really likes to use that back heel to get around defenders. Watch him, particularly in tight spaces, utilize that skill. This is Sterngard again. Also up the middle, Taimu Okioshi, a 5'10 senior from Japan, won a national junior college title in 2021 at Salt Lake Community College, when he was also United Soccer Coaches All-American. There he is with it now, and he'll send it to the attacking flank on the left. Slide, and that shot just controlled. And they're call this a corner, as the ball carried basically Conlon beyond the end line.
Yeah, it did. The momentum of the ball, he caught it in bounds, but the momentum carried it over the line, all of the ball over all of the line, and he stepped out as well.
Yep. Couldn't see it from up here. When you see the replay, that is the case. Sterngard will swing it in again, second time from that corner.
They're loading a lot of people on the near post, looking for a potential flick on.
This comes to the back, and that's punched by Conlon out. They'll get another corner. And they'll keep it at the same corner to the right of Conlon.
Sterngard is really whipping those in there. I mean, he'd be happy if it went all the way into the back post.
He's a transfer from Quinnipiac, the Bobcats, where he led
another Connecticut school.
Yeah. And we did not count Connecticut as a foreign country in this case. Yeah, he had a pretty good career up there with the Bobcats. As he finished with 13 assists and added 4 goals, and was the MAC, the Metro Atlantic Athletic Conference, that MAC, he was the Rookie of the Year.
Yeah, they're one of those Division I schools that used to be Division II a long time ago, along with Sacred Heart. And, trying to think who else was up there. I guess Fairfield's been Division.
Yeah, they've been
Division I
for a while.
Yeah.
At Quinnipiac, you might hear about them. They conduct a lot of polls that are used in media.
Yeah.
That's chipped in. This is Bell. Bell takes it wide. as he was harassed there. P2 was right there with him, so he couldn't quite turn the corner. In the 15th minute, just one shot thus far. That was by Marshall, and it was a good one by Silva, although it was wide of the pole. Most of the action has been on the right side as we view it. There's the long strike, but batted back out. Trying to get it in. Blanton heads it out. Turner turns it further out. But quickly the possession, but challenge. It's O'Bara and Blanton. And we get a foul coming in, a yellow card.
And Silva, I believe.
Oh, they're going to register this one on Pinto, the freshman from Portugal, who has started all 6 matches, has 1 assist this year.
I think they're claiming that it came in high over the ball right there onto the ankle of Josiah Blanton. Nothing intentional. He was going for the ball, just
a hard play that ends up as a result that it was.
A little late.
So our first yellow of the day. It took 15 minutes to get there. And this is a Marshall team that usually, when we were talking to Cody Lynn beforehand, they've scored as early as a minute and a half into a contest. Bell had one in the season opener, but usually by this point they've already got a score. And right now they're coming up with their 4th corner.
Well, this is putting JMU in a little bit of uncharted territory. They're not used to having to defend the majority of the game. And this will be a game of patience right now. We'll be patient offensively with Marshall to not get frustrated that things aren't working out for them, but also JMU has to be patient and have to work cohesively together to make sure that they are finding marks and nobody's running free.
Comes the corner. This comes to the near post. Sent out. This is a keeper ball. Dave, another thing, you talk about patience. When you don't possess the ball very much, you become impatient when you do get it, and you might turn it over a lot more abruptly. So it's very key also that once you do have the possession, to maintain it.
Yep.
I mean, you're not going to stop any momentum if you turn it right back over after you finally get your foot on it for a while. But right now, you can easily say that Marshall is controlling the action on the pitch. They're dictating it at the moment.
So if you watch number 10, Matthew Bell for Marshall, he just kind of goes all wherever he needs to go. He's kind of like a free player, false 9, they call it. Sometimes is up top, sometimes drifts into the midfield, and they try to run a lot of things through him as his assist load has been showing.
A Bell from Jamaica, the only representative of that country. They do have multiple from Brazil and France. And here's Bell now. Tumbling down, and that's a foul just outside the 18.
Yeah, that's a dangerous location to give one up.
And that was P2 for James Madison. It's a busy night for JMU athletics, as big matchup in Sunbelt football tonight down in Alabama. JMU and Troy. Troy picked to win the West. JMU picked to win the East. And they happen to match up in the Sunbelt football opener tonight for those 2 programs. And JMU women's volleyball just outside the top 25. Took number 7 Oregon to 5 last night, and is facing host and number 8 Pitt this evening. And so all 3 of these contests going on at the same time. Here's the basic shot, ricochets off, and fortunately somehow JMU gets away with that one as Marshall just had the ball open. The net was wide open on the right of Conlon.
I have to see the replay, but I think that may have glanced off the crossbar and hit the upright. I think Sebi was
That
Yeah.
And it was right on the line when it came down.
Yeah, I think he was trying to play the cross and got, I think, well, it was a good shot, but I think he was a little surprised that it was a shot as opposed to a ball whipped in.
Sebastian, 0.69 goals against average. His career is 1.10. That's been coming down here lately. Save percentage this season, 826. Is involved in 7 shutouts thus far this season, or this his career, 1 this year. And he shared another shutout. Meanwhile, for Perota from Paraguay and UNCW, 9th in the NCAA in goals against average. The leader coming into the weekend was Jackson Lee of West Virginia, but he gave up 2 goals yesterday in the Mountaineers 2-2 draw with Central Florida in those 2 programs' Sun Belt opener. And those 2 teams also ranked inside the top 10. Oh, that's a foul and a yellow coming out as Luka Nikolai, that is, beg your pardon, a freshman from Germany, is given a yellow. So setting it up here on the free kick is Sterngard. Two shots thus far, but a lot of set opportunities already for Marshall's Thundering Herd.
The big player on the back post here, Fujita. Yeah, harmless.
That skips it in and sends it out. Here's Blanton. Dukes will send it over. Robus. Rodrigo sends it, shoots over. It's Blanton. Blanton sends it forward. Oh, he had Southern here on the left flank, but Southern just didn't connect with him. Had an opportunity built. Good counter for James Madison.
Yeah, that was a 9,500-yard sprint by Josiah Blanton. Right now, he's probably looking for the O2 tank.
And Josiah Blanton from Roswell, Georgia, in his 51st career match here tonight for the Dukes. 41 consecutive starts. He's only come off the bench 4 times in his career. And the Dukes, speaking of the bench, the Dukes have 4 up. They want to get into the next opportunity. And it'll come about midway through the first half of play here at Centera Park. Here's Bell, quick first step. Turner. Bell in tight spaces. Marshall does like to work in very cramped quarters, we'll say. There's a shot and the goal. Sending it through is Adam Almish, and Almish comes up with his 3rd goal of the season. A product of France, born in Paris, and was the 2022 Sunbelt Men's Soccer Newcomer of the Year. So Dave, Marshall, a lot of opportunities here in the opening 21 minutes of play, and they finally break through.
Yeah, I mean, they're JMU back 4 have been under a lot of pressure for the whole 24 minutes here. So a little slow getting out there, but now he turns inside and just sees a window, and Sebastian Conlon would be wishing that he had another chance at that one. No goalkeeper likes to get beaten on their near post like that.
Almish again with his 3rd goal of the season, the 5th of his career. And the Dukes have gone to some substitutes now in the lineup. You'll see number 7, Cameron Arnold, who's being chatted to right away. Also out there for the Dukes is Balant Kocho. Kocho, the transfer from George Mason, wearing number 21. So they'll go to the front line. And Yanis Lelon from Spain, number 4, on the pitch for James Madison. As the Dukes make the first substitutions of tonight's matchup. Oh, some pressure there, 2-on-1, and finally squirts wide to the left. Perota seeming pretty calm, even though there were two white jerseys right there with him. A foul on the Dukes.
And I think we also have Liam Moore in now at the right back.
Yes, he has gone in. I did not. He must have come to the bench or to the report area very quickly. He was not one of the original Dukes up there to check in, but he is there on the right side. There he is. Liam, 5'11", out of Smithfield, Virginia. Sophomore making his 19th JMU appearance, 11 starts. Played a lot against Mount St. Mary's last Saturday night. Didn't play. I think he played actually in the Virginia match that I can remember. Blanton. Oh, stolen away. And a build-up. Blanton sends it out, but Marshall bodies right there. Just a lot of dark jerseys to have to deal with.
Yeah, the rhythm and tempo was very, very quick. Doesn't give JMU a chance to really get comfortable and settled in their defensive posture.
Dimitri Turner with the quick touch. Didn't keep coming on as Kocho left it back there for him. And a whistle as tumbling down. Okiyoshi. He's playing in his 26th match for the Marshall Thundering Herd.
You know, so here's the defensive risk that you have to take. Do you drop back and play low pressure and allow them to have a lot of the ball without pressure on the ball where they can make good decisions? Or do you step up and try to put them under pressure to force their head down so they can't see things?
Bell trying to track up. The Dukes get a man in the box. Coming up was Lilon. That's a throw in for James Madison on the far side to O'Bara. Clay batters around. And a sub coming in for the Dukes is coming in as Alex Krakowiak, the 5'10" midfielder from Canada, just outside of Toronto.
First corner.
Get a corner for James Madison there first for the Dukes. And it comes 25 minutes in. Bilon will send it in. Turner, P2. Mazerazzi there. Cleared on out to the opposite side. Krakowiak. Kocho here. Swings it in with the left, but sent right back out. Comes out to Krakowiak. He puts it in just above the six. The header try is off the mark. Cameron Arnold gets the forehead to it. Reasonably good attempt.
Alex Krakowiak is that type of holding midfielder or defensive center midfielder who really likes to spray the ball around. So if they can get a little bit more possession of it and give him the ball, there will be a lot of, I think, more opportunities for them to be played forward. Really trying to cut the field in half here and force them to one side and keep it here.
Okiyoshi has it taken away by Arnold. Arnold keeping with it, but it was 2-on-4 for the Dukes and trying to get that ball back into an offensive attack. 4 shots for the visitors, including the 1 goal, and JMU just 1 shot thus far. stolen away by Lilon. Shifts it over, but nobody there for JMU. Two players tumble down. They play on. Here comes Blanton all the way from the back line. He serves in, partially deflected. Perota comes up with a grab. Now, Perota first faced the Dukes in October of 2019 and came away with a win in that one, 1-0.
That was a good individual matchup there between Matt Bell and Dimitri Turner. Turner's a ball winner. If you're going to go body on him, you better be strong, and he won that individual battle right there.
We're talking about that 2019 season. Later in the CAA title match, he was in goal. It ended up being double overtime, and JMU won that one 1-0. In 2021, a 2-0 loss here at JMU with one save, and then in another matchup, it was a 108 minutes versus JMU, a 1-0 win at home for the Seahawks that year. So 2-2 lifetime against James Madison. Never had to make more than 3 saves in any one matchup against the Dukes. But here he is in goal for the Thundering Herd as a graduate student. 6'2". Career record 37 wins, 16 losses, and 13 ties, and career save percentage of .787. Here's Koviak taking it away.
I think if the Dukes can relax a little bit here and play possession and force Marshall to defend instead of looking for the quick counter, or as you mentioned before, kind of rushing things to create those loose balls, I think they'll have a
mistake on the AR. It's actually James Madison's ball.
Yeah.
That was just a flag going the wrong direction. Now, going back to last season, the Herd has allowed just 5 goals in its last 12 matches. I mean, that's countering. They don't allow a lot of goals because they're usually on the attack. So defensively, they start by having a good offense.
Yeah, this is a tough team to get behind in a game, to have to now find 2 goals to win it.
Foul called on Simone. Apparently had his leg bent and spikes up. So it's a throw in.
You don't see that called very often at the college level, foul throw.
Koviak. Turner sends it wide. That comes out to Blanton, who pushes up. Blanton sends it, nice ball over to Albera. And chased off the inline, keeper ball. Well, Blanton coming from that left back position, getting up there to support the offense.
Well, if you've been watching JMU over the last few years, I mean, we've said this over and over again. When they're at their best attacking-wise is when they involve one outside back or the other. In some instances, they're free enough to send 2 guys up the field, and Josiah is one of those players that is a difference maker with that.
Well, the one that always comes to mind with me is Tom Judge.
He didn't know he was a defender.
Yeah, he was the best at doing that, I think. Yeah, there were times where I forgot he was a defender. He was flying up the field so often. That's Bell working into the space outside the 18. Just squaring it up. Bell trying to work around a couple, but the Dukes are both there. to send it out. Now you've got to run a foot race on the far side. And you're watching, or we've got the track around the soccer pitch here, and that looked like a 100-yard dash developing there. This facility, also the home of JMU women's soccer, which picked up a 2-0 win at Arkansas State to open up Sun Belt play yesterday.
They'll be home here on Thursday playing the Marshall women.
Yeah, so we'll have that one for you. They were going to give Dave the night off on that one.
It's my birthday, so you have to.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I still have them at my age.
Okay, yeah. You still claim them. That's the real impressive thing.
No, I don't claim them. I just have them.
Okay. Got a foul called against the Thundering Herd. I realized that Elon taped up left hand there, a couple of fingers wrapped together. Set piece for the Dukes, just chips it in, but headed back out to the wide side. And Dave, that's what you're supposed to do when you are heading the ball defensively. Get it to the wide side, right? That was actually Virginia's mistake.
Absolutely it was. It was two defenders going for it.
That bounces right to Perota.
They had three defenders kind of waiting to hear the goalkeeper say something, and nothing happened. He was lucky to get away with that.
But getting back to that Virginia match, the Virginia defender headed it right back towards the middle, which is where Robles was, and he put the left foot to it. And with 14.9 seconds to go, the Dukes were happy with a draw against their friends from Charlottesville. That was the first draw of the season for the Cavaliers as they went back to Charlottesville with a 3-2-1 record. And the Dukes came out 4-0-2. Now Marshall was one of 6 teams in the country unbeaten or untied until yesterday. So West Virginia's tie with UCF changed that. And look at Bell working the way through. Takes the shot. A quick save by Sebastian Conlon. Trying to turn it, just didn't quite get the angle, did Cocho. Look at this. Nice save coming up here, Dave.
Yeah, Bell's pretty explosive through there. Ball falls for him. He comes back. Good reaction, kick save.
And look where Simone was. I mean, he was right there. If the ball comes just a little further, the angle is a little out his way. He's right there to try to bury it again. And I'm going to stop the clock here with 10-12 to go.
Not sure.
While we got this timeout, we do want to thank our Team Madison partners at James Madison University. And they include Pepsi and Centera. As we're here at Centera Park. I mentioned 2 soccer programs at play here, women's lacrosse and the track and field Dukes work in this facility as well. And they all have new office homes and locker rooms at the renovated JMU Convocation Center.
Yeah, that's really very impressive to see. If you're a JMU former athlete or even spectator, you'd never even recognize the inside of it.
Now the outside you will recognize.
Oh yeah, it needs a coat of paint.
It does. The outside needs a little bit of work, but that wasn't the most important thing. They wanted to get it all squared away inside. And looks like that'll be the last major facilities development for Jeff Bourne as the athletics director at James Madison. He announced his retirement yesterday.
Yeah, he's done some amazing things since he's been here. He and Charlie King have been a pretty good duo, finding opportunities to make JMU more relevant on the sports scene.
2 money guys with patience and money spent well. And an update from Troy. James Madison strikes first. It's a field goal for the Dukes in the first quarter. in set number 2. Pitt leading JMU 17-11. Pitt took the first set 25-14. Lauren Steinbrecher did not back down from any challenges in the non-conference schedule this year for her Dukes, who are the reigning Sun Belt champs, and picked to win it again. But she's got a senior-laden team. She's got a lot of experience on that squad, so built a very strong schedule and have had good results already.
Yeah, they're fun to watch.
They are. And their home is at the Convocation Center. That's their competitive court. They'll be back home in a couple of weeks against Texas State in a rematch of last year's Sun Belt title. Sliding tackle. That was Liam.
Yeah, Liam has a take no prisoners mentality as a defender. He's going to make sure that he's going to give you a little extra when he gets the opportunity.
Well, he plans to join the Army when he's done with his collegiate career.
Weren't you saying mom and dad were both retired military?
Mom is Army. No, dad is Army and mom is Navy, I believe is the combo. From Smithfield, so they're near the Hampton Roads area. There's a shot for Bell. It's a it's a goalkeeper kick, and coming in for the Dukes is Jordan McMillan, 6'3", 192-pound redshirt junior from Fairfax, Virginia, attended the Heights School.
You know, Kurt, speaking about not backing down on schedules, you know, we were talking the other night when Virginia was here. 3 weeks in a row, we've had past national champions here at JMU on this field with UCLA, UVA, now Marshall. Now Marshall, I know, is a conference opponent. And it doesn't get any easier because on Tuesday they go up to Georgetown, who were the 2019 national champions. So that's well constructed by Paul to get some big names in here.
You know, and I think what's interesting too is let's also make sure we get in Evan Paez on the pitch for the Dukes now, redshirt senior from Alexandria, Virginia. As that's served in, Perota reaches high to get it. You know, the way the schedules have worked out, you certainly want to challenge yourself, but being in the Sun Belt, I think it makes it just a tad bit easier because if you come in to play JMU as a Sun Belt member right now, the variables of the RPI are much more improved. They're much more advanced right now.
Sure. And what happens a lot in scheduling is a lot of these schedules are made sometimes 2 years or more in advance.
A run to the far side. Stop there momentarily by Moore.
You know, and we've said this for years with both UVA and Virginia Tech right down the road from us. Those should be games that we play fairly frequently, if not annually. So why not? But you're right. I mean, we don't really need to go looking for RPI games when you have 5 teams as of last week in the top 25, and I think 3 or 4 were in the top 10.
4 in the top 10.
4 in the top 10.
This,
so,
yeah, this is the second of the top 10 matchups this weekend.
So I take that back, Paul. That wasn't really smart scheduling on your part.
Yeah.
Just kidding.
No, it's all good. I think it draws quite a bit of excitement. Another good crowd here tonight. We had 1,400 plus here, the second largest crowd ever at Centera during the Virginia match here Tuesday. And fans knew how important this matchup was. And we look at what happened yesterday. Coastal and Georgia Southern, they finished in a 0-0 draw. South Carolina knocked off number 24 Kentucky 1-0. And number 4 West Virginia 2, number 5 UCF 2. And all that scoring was in the first half. Those were the first 2 goals. Well, no, that's not correct. West Virginia had not given up any goals at all. Only a couple coming in. The other matchup tonight, Old Dominion, is at Georgia State. That's the only other Sun Belt matchup today. Of course, Central Florida, new to the league this year. Their soccer program didn't have a home when they changed their major league. There's O'Bara with it for the Dukes. Gets it over Krakowiak and just misses. Paez on the far side.
JMU having a little bit more opportunity to spring their attack here in the last maybe 10, 12 minutes.
Well, and Coach Zazinski also making a number of substitutes midway through this half after the first half under the barrage of the Thundering Herd, so it does get some fresh bodies out there as well. Almesh has the goal. He was on the left wing. Here's a 50-50 ball, one back out, but Bell is controlling it there. Bell chips it forward, finds a wide open. Here's the shot, a hand save, and that was a handball. And yes, they will call the handball in the 6, I believe.
No, I think he was offsides.
And there's a yellow card. So he was offsides when the ball came back out. Is that what you saw, Dave?
I think I saw the flag go up.
Okay. I thought it had actually hit the hand of Silva. We'll take a look at it again.
Let's see what we get here.
See, he hits it with his hand. Oh, that hit him in the face. Okay.
Hit him in the face and the arm. Yep. So no offsides.
A save by Conlon. He's got a couple now. In fact, he is up to, that is his second. Oh, excuse me. That's his third.
Yeah, and those last two have been really big, because now if you're down 2 or 3, that's a tough hill to climb.
Lilon. Cocho sends it in, the run. .146 to play. The yellow card went to Matthew Bell, by the way. Get that squared away for you. And here's Bell on the far outside, sends it in. Block shot, a corner will result.
Yeah, that's the example again of how they attack in numbers. I mean, there was 2 offensive players fighting for the same ball.
So we'll get yet another corner, and this is number 5 for the Thundering Herd. The Dukes have been limited to just 1, and this corner will start with less than 60 seconds to go before the break. Sterngard comes to the far post this time, overshoots his man. Trying to turn it to the inside. Another corner coming up for the Thundering Herd. Sterngard again. Will send it in, but this time from the...
Yeah, they've got 2 pretty good-sized targets there with Fujita and I think it's Dugan.
Yeah, Fujita at 6'2", Dugan at 6'4". It's cleared out. And Adam Nicely, the public address announcer here at James Madison, will count down the final few seconds. As they put their first goal of the evening and the only goal thus far in the net, that in the 21st minute. Adam Albish off the right. It's Madison 0.
Commonwealth One the one for you?
Because it meant the one with heated seats and a hybrid engine.
Because our daughter's got only 3 credits to go before graduation.
Because it means one less stop before heading home. For over 75 years, Commonwealth One has been the one, committed to helping our members and our communities thrive. So whether you're a longtime resident or just new to our community, come home to the best banking experience you've ever known.
Commonwealth One for you for life.
Behind every team is a great community. Door Gorilla is proud to be the official garage door provider for JMU Athletics and proud to support their community. When you need a garage door, call 540-740-DOOR and show your support for JMU this season. Go Dukes!
At Dick Myers Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram, we service all makes and models. So no matter what you drive, we've got you covered. We're only a mile from JMU, and we know your schedule is busy, so when you drop off your car, our shuttle service will get you to where you need to be and pick you up when your car is ready. Stop by or call today to schedule your next appointment at Dick Myers Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram, locally owned and operated, where customers send their friends.
Are you new to the area, hoping to make Harrisonburg or Rockingham County home for the first time? Or are you a longtime resident looking to move or find a more suitable rental home? Look no further. Let Reiner Rentals help make the search for your dream home simple and enjoyable. Whether you're looking for a single-family home, townhouse, duplex, condo, or downtown loft, let us help you find the perfect home with personalized service and local area knowledge. Because at Reiner Rentals, it's not just a rental, it's home.
If you want your trade-in to be worth more down the road, then shop Toyota. The best resale value brand according to Kelley Blue Book's KBB.com for the 3rd year in a row. On a $45,000 vehicle, see how these Toyotas are predicted to be worth thousands more than the average vehicle after the first 5 years of ownership. That's performance you can count on. Shop local inventory on buyatoyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
Welcome back, everyone, to Centera Park. I want to thank our folks from McDonald's. I'm loving it. McDonald's, one of the big sponsors of JMU soccer all season long here in 2023. Also to our Team Madison partners, which are Pepsi as well as Centera. Good evening once again, everyone. I'm Kurt Dudley along with Dave Lombardo. We're at halftime where Marshall has the 1-0 lead over the Dukes of James Madison. We'll get more into the first half of this match in just a little while. And we mentioned, Dave, that Jeff Bourne announced his retirement yesterday. He'll finish 25 years. Yep. He'll retire in June. Now, he was not the AD when you were hired and the soccer program started here, but you were about 10 years in, a little under 10 years in, I think, when he took over.
I had 3 years with Dean Ehlers, and I think 6 years with Don Lemish. Yeah. And then Jeff came in 99.
So from a coach's perspective, how much of a world of difference is James Madison Athletics compared to what it was in the 90s?
Oh, completely night and day. And you know, to be fair, some of that was one of the first hard decisions that Jeff had to make when he came here was to cut 10 sports. And, you know, there was a lot of furor about that and hard feelings. But in the long run, if you look what's happened to the 18 sports at JMU, almost all of them have been competing for conference championships in NCAA tournaments. You know, it's such a boon to be able to be fully funded in what you were attempting to do and have the same amount of bullets in the guns as your opponents. And Jeff and Charlie King did a great job with making sure that happened.
It came with a real plan. I mean, when he got here, I don't know what he told the Board of Visitors. I'm not sure what he told then, you know, Dr. Rose when he was the president here, you know, how that was going to work out and what he had as far as the vision is concerned. But I do know going back to the early 2000s when, okay, they're going to build an athletics performance center, and then they're going to expand the football stadium.
Yep.
And then you're going to do Centera Park and the new baseball facility, and now much of that construction and those facilities are on the outskirts of campus. because you're pretty much landlocked there in the center of campus, other than Godwin Hall and the football stadium. So it was progressive, and a lot of folks they weren't necessarily patient. One of the things that I thought did a very nice job of, he listened to people, but he also wanted them to understand it takes time to get this implemented to be. I mean, folks wanted 10 years ago for the Dukes to be FBS. That was not a good time, in my opinion.
Sure. And I think if we had tried to do it at that moment in time, we would not have been successful.
Yeah, across the board.
Across the board.
Yeah, so one of the first things going back, so there was the cutting of sports issue about 2002, and they all were maintained, but they were tiered at that time, which was really a tough decision. And quite honestly, not fair to those teams that were tiered, basically non-scholarship. Wrestling could not compete.
Sure,
I mean,
you're basically Division III competing against Division
absolutely.
I. Yes.
But then in 2007-08 is when they cut the 10 sports. Now, the first thing that they did was put a lot of the money that was moved around into the health and well-being of the student athletes. That's when Tom Custer and all those guys, the late Tom Custer, got the health and mental aspect of your student athletes first. And now you see the results of that right now is it's showing up on the field.
Yeah, absolutely. And I've said this, in the 28 years I was at JMU, I have visited a lot of schools on the road. And when we were in the CAA as an FBS program, we were more professional in terms of how our coaching staff and our players were treated, and the facilities were better than a lot of what were Power 5 conference schools, because we were an Olympic sport and they didn't care much beyond football and basketball, and that has never been. I give Jeff a lot of credit. Everybody knows what the pecking order is.
Sure.
But he never turned his back on the Olympic sports and said to them, we're going to do the best that we can for you, and we're going to keep trying to make that better and better and better. And he made that happen.
Well, football leads the brand, but the brand also is also supplemented by the success of all those other sports teams. No question about it.
Absolutely. I mean, JMU for so many years has been the women's programs have been in the forefront in terms of national rankings and things along those lines. So you couldn't just ignore that history and tradition.
Oh, so Jeff Bourne will step down. He's going to have a swan song this year. He'll get a chance to see a lot of folks over the course of the next number of months. And June will be his final month on the job here at James Madison. He already has his house ready down in North Carolina. So we're going to take a quick break. We'll come back, take a look at stats from the first half, and slowly work our way to the second half. The Dukes and Marshall with a 1-0 lead.
Why is Commonwealth One the one for you?
Because it meant the one with heated seats and a hybrid engine.
Because our daughter's got only 3 credits to go before graduation.
Because it means one less stop before heading home. For over 75 years, Commonwealth One has been the one, committed to helping our members and our communities thrive. So whether you're a longtime resident or just new to our community, come home to the best banking experience you've ever known.
Commonwealth One, for you, for life.
Behind every team is a great community. Door Gorilla is proud to be the official garage door provider for JMU Athletics, and proud to support their community. When you need a garage door, call 540-740-DOOR and show your support for JMU this season. Go Dukes!
At Dick Myers Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram, we service all makes and models. So no matter what you drive, we've got you covered. We're only a mile from JMU, and we know your schedule is busy, so when you drop off your car, our shuttle service will get you to where you need to be and pick you up when your car is ready. Stop by or call today to schedule your next appointment at Dick Myers Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram, locally owned and operated, where customers send their friends.
Are you new to the area, hoping to make Harrisonburg or Rockingham County home for the first time? Or are you a longtime resident looking to move or find a more suitable rental home? Look no further. Let Reiner Rentals help make the search for your dream home simple and enjoyable. Whether you're looking for a single-family home, townhouse, duplex, condo, or downtown loft, let us help you find the perfect home with personalized service and local area knowledge. Because at Reiner Rentals, it's not just a rental, it's home.
If you want your trade-in to be worth more down the road, then shop Toyota. The best resale value brand according to Kelley Blue Book's KBB.com for the third year in a row. On a $45,000 vehicle, see how these Toyotas are predicted to be worth thousands more than the average vehicle after the first 5 years of ownership. That's performance you can count on. Shop local inventory on buyatoyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
A very quick look at stats. Marshall out shooting the Dukes 7-2. Shots on goal 4-1 favoring the Thundering Herd. The Dukes have 3 saves with Conlon between the pipes. 1 for Perota. 4 fouls against the visitors, 6 for the home team. The Thundering Herd has generated 6 corners. The Dukes 1, and Marshall has been whistled for 1 offsides. That's a quick look at stats. We'll step aside again. We'll be back for the second half of action of the Sun Belt opener between the Dukes and the Marshall Thundering Herd.
Why is Commonwealth One the one for you?
Because it meant the one with heated seats and a hybrid engine.
Because our daughter's got only 3 credits to go before graduation.
Because it means one less stop before heading home. For over 75 years, Commonwealth One has been the one, committed to helping our members and our communities thrive. So whether you're a longtime resident or just new to our community, come home to the best banking experience you've ever known.
Commonwealth One, for you, for life.
Behind every team is a great community. Door Gorilla is proud to be the official garage door provider for JMU Athletics and proud to support their community. When you need a garage door, call 540-740-DOOR and show your support for JMU this season. Go Dukes!
At Dick Myers Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram, we service all makes and models. So no matter what you drive, we've got you covered. We're only a mile from JMU, and we know your schedule is busy, so when you drop off your car, our shuttle service will get you to where you need to be and pick you up when your car is ready. Stop by or call today to schedule your next appointment at Dick Myers Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram, locally owned and operated, where customers send their friends.
Are you new to the area, hoping to make Harrisonburg or Rockingham County home for the first time? Or are you a longtime resident looking to move or find a more suitable rental home? Look no further. Let Reiner Rentals help make the search for your dream home simple and enjoyable. Whether you're looking for a single-family home, townhouse, duplex, condo, or downtown loft, let us help you find the perfect home with personalized service and local area knowledge. Because at Reiner Rentals, it's not just a rental, it's home.
If you want your trade-in to be worth more down the road, then shop Toyota. The best resale value brand according to Kelley Blue Book's KBB.com for the third year in a row. On a $45,000 vehicle, see how these Toyotas are predicted to be worth thousands more than the average vehicle after the first 5 years of ownership. That's performance you can count on. Shop local inventory on buyatoyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
And we welcome you back to Centerra Park. Welcoming in the fans of the Marshall Thundering Herd, the Dukes of James Madison, of course, and just fans of the Sun Belt or men's soccer. This is the marquee matchup across the country tonight with number 2 Marshall against number 9 James Madison. Again, I'm Kurt Dudley along with Dave Lombardo. A 1-0 lead here as Marshall scored its goal in the 21st minute. As Adam Almesh, he scored the goal. A very pleasant evening here at Centerra Park. Coach Paul Zazinski going up against the Marshall Thundering Herd. 15 countries represented by the Thundering Herd. Early action with Conlon and a lot of the early pressure. That's a shot taken by Silva. And that just does hit the crossbar, bounce back out. And here we get the ultimate goal, taking the short corner and getting it just by Sebastian Conlon for the goal. Silva, also we talked about him in the opening portion of the match. He and Bell, got to watch those two all the time too, as they are third in the NCAA in points per game, 2.5. Now Bell has been extremely active, and as Dave, you point out, he's the X factor. He's just roaming around anywhere he darn well pleases. And with that, so a player that does that, what does that do to you defensively, Dave? I mean, you got to put your head on a swivel, but that should open up other things.
Yeah, so yes, it makes it difficult because his unpredictability of where he's going to pop up. He could be in the midfield, he could be up against the restraining line. So you have to really kind of be always aware of where he is. What it also does, though, for Marshall is they're only playing with, 9 players defensively because he's really very focused on getting in the attack.
That one's into the box, and coming out to retrieve it is Conlon. A couple of highlights of these players we're speaking of with Silva. He had 7 points in just his second appearance at Marshall. That was at Wright State in late August. Scored his first career goal, and here's a foul called against James Madison. Scored his first career goal. He had an assist and a hat trick. That's a way to kind of welcome yourself into college men's soccer, as down on the pitch is Tio Godar, the transfer from Gardner Webb, where he played in 13 matches with 12 starts, had 2 assists and over 1,000 minutes played with the Bulldogs last year.
Yeah,
look at the foul coming up here, Dave.
Looks like he caught a little extra there by Kevin Larson. I don't know if it was in the face or. Yeah, and the Dukes have come out with a slightly different personnel. They've got Cameron Arnold up top with Rodrigo Robles. Liam Moore has stayed in the game as the right back. Chase Strine is back in, I guess, replacing Dimitri Turner right now, and I think that's about.
Krakowiak's in too.
Yes.
So he stayed in after coming off the bench.
Yeah, so they've kind of rotated those 3 around.
This is Morris Dugan. He is a product of Germany. He went to Iowa Lakes Community College before joining the Thundering Herd. Born in Munich, appeared in all 19 matches last year, and is playing in his 26th tilt for the Marshall Thundering Herd from Huntington, West Virginia. These are the 2 northernmost teams in the Sun Belt. Of course, you have West Virginia in the Sun Belt for men's soccer, as West Virginia, South Carolina, Central Florida, Kentucky, all at home and looking for a home. So that's how the Sun Belt was reestablished last year after Marshall and JMU and Old Dominion and Southern Miss, although Southern Miss doesn't play men's soccer. Here's a yellow card coming out, and so that's 2 apiece now. Yellow cards given out to Pinto and Bell.
Yeah, I don't think the referee had intended initially to give him the yellow card, but I think the player was kind of persisting with language.
So a free kick will come up for the Thundering Herd just beyond midfield.
So the task for the Dukes, Kurt, this half is they have to get the ball more. Simple as that. They don't really have to change what they've been doing in terms of system of play. It's just going to have to make Marshall a little bit more uncomfortable, making decisions and finding the easy man.
Kevin Larson was just waiting for that officially to register here. He was doled the yellow card. Comes from pressure, is trying to take it away was Cameron Arnold. He did so for a split second but maintaining the possession is Dugan.
This goes back to what I was saying in the first half. You know, if JMU decides just to sit back and defend, that's all they will do. And because Marshall's too good, they're not going to just turn the ball over and you're going to get it. So you're going to have to come out and make it a little more difficult for them to play. If you're pressurizing the person with the ball, they end up with an errant pass, and then you can jump that next pass sometimes.
Yeah, because if you just sit back and play defense, you're actually playing into Marshall's hands.
Yeah, and they'll pick you apart eventually.
Perota again very calmly. And here comes Krakowiak putting some pressure on out of the midfield, and sliding tackle gets out of bounds. A throw in on the far touchline.
And in the first half, the Dukes used 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 substitutions to Marshall's 0. And that's, I think, you'll see you have a re-entry in the second half. So I think you'll see the Dukes trying to keep some fresh legs in there to keep the pressure up.
Good timing on the tackle. That time employed. Materazzi, Davida. Transfer from Davis and Elkins. Mentioned in the onset that the Thundering Herd, #1 in the country in goals per game. Bell is one of those goal producers as he is just dancing around the crowd. But they are also #1 in goal differential coming into tonight at 20. So that is currently at +21. JMU #3 at +13. That'll drop to +12. But Marshall also #1 in points per game, 11.17. The Dukes are #6 at 8.33. Now this is across the land for these two nationally ranked teams. Marshall generates about 19 shots a game, only 7 thus far in this one. So a little below pace. Shots on goal, Marshall #3 in the country, 8.33. The Dukes #5 at 7.5. And Marshall #1 in total assists with 23, goals with 24, points with 70. JMU coming in #10 in assists with 16. #3 in goals with 17, and 4th in points with 50. So with 6 matches as a sample size, that gives you a pretty good indication of what these two teams have done thus far. Now you could probably analyze the opponents at this point too and maybe handicap that a little bit, but just notes of statistical interest to let you chew on.
Rodrigo Robles kind of writhing in pain down there. So
that is out of bounds as Liam Moore kept it possessed. Yeah, there is Rodrigo limping around. Did come up. He's actually holding his back.
Yeah, I think he was trying to hold off the defender and caught a leg in the back right there. Maybe a knee.
Rodrigo with the goal, his 2nd of the season. This is against the Cavaliers here on Tuesday. And he is playing in his 49th match as a Duke. His last goal at home before that one on Tuesday night was on September 7th, 2021.
Yeah, I think this is Rodrigo just running a little hot from before. He didn't know who kicked him, but he didn't care.
He was going to get some type of retaliation.
Right.
Again, Garcia Pascual not in the lineup tonight, not available for the Thundering Herd. We learned just before tonight's matchup, and he had 3 assists this season after just 1 last year, so he was making an early impact. Here is Bell, but taken away as the double team works. Sliding it over, Robles chipped over, far side, but not enough as the ball will curl back into Perota, and he quickly lays it out there. That leaves 3 Dukes behind, and Marshall on the attack.
Right now, the Dukes in the final third are trying to play one touch, sometimes two touch soccer, where maybe a second to third touch might end up delivering a better quality final pass. Easier set up here than down there.
Only 2 shots for the Dukes thus far tonight. Now again, JMU is 10th in the country in shots and shooting accuracy, but you got to generate some first of all. Setting it up, there's the shot, it's blocked. Materazzi was there, or that was P2 actually. No, it was Materazzi.
Yep.
It's a throw in for the Thundering Herd. We might have a lot of international viewers today because I don't know how many of the Marshall family members might make it here to Harrisonburg tonight. So in English, welcome.
That's all we got.
That's it. That is it. That is all we got. Oh, that's a tough break. I think Dugan kind of stepped into Rodrigo Robles that time, and the official saying, let's calm this down, gentlemen. Our attendance tonight, 1,119. That is the 5th best attendance all time here at Centera Park, which opened up in 2012. So before this became a athletic facility, it was a retention pond and a cow field.
Yeah.
The pasture.
Yeah, the metamorphosis of this whole property is amazing.
They tiered it up, so we're on the very lower tier. It is a park, so you have to walk a ways to get to the playing field.
They should have put the concession stand halfway so you can grab a hot dog on the way down.
That would be a good idea. Yeah, you at least get a water break on the way back up. But they do shuttle folks in from the parking lots.
Well, and I've said this since this has opened up. There are better, maybe individual stadiums that are out there that hold more. But in terms of all under one roof type of things, with a training ground right next door, a turf field right above that, and then a bubble above that, all in one location, not a lot of facilities can rival this.
And Blanton not being
good patience by Josiah.
He did. He just broke him down. Stayed with it. That's chipped in pretty good. Bell sends it back. Boy, what an angle for Bell to get to it. Danger not done yet. Silva spins it inside the 18. Here's Bell, takes the shot, and he finds the back of the net. So dangerous is Matthew Bell. And he makes it a 2-0 lead with his 6th goal of the season and the 16th of his career.
Yeah, you could kind of feel that coming in that exchange. We just couldn't get, JMU just could not get the ball clear out of that final third of the field, particularly in the box.
So that is 16 goals for Bell in his 26th match. For the sophomore from Kingston, Jamaica, Kingston College. Sunbelt Freshman of the Year. First team All Sunbelt last season.
Yeah, quick entry ball. He just turns and fires. A lot of Dukes kind of standing around saying, I got my man, but he was free.
And he is on the Mac Herman watch list. Had a hat trick in the season opener against the Grizzlies of Oakland. And just early into his sophomore season with the Thundering Herd. He makes it 2-0 Marshall.
And now comes decision time by the Dukes of how do you get back into this game? Do you start changing systems of play? Do you start going more direct? Direct so far hasn't worked. So I think getting better control of the ball in midfield and being able to maybe throw some numbers forward, but then you leave yourself exposed in the back to kind of pick your poison a little bit.
Well, you got 34 minutes to work with. And as evidenced on Tuesday, you played to the last second, of course.
Oh, absolutely.
But what is your plan moving forward under the circumstances that you find yourself in right now, down 2-0? JMU football up 6-0 now. A couple of Camden Wise field goals. There's not a lot of offense. I checked the numbers after one quarter, and not a lot of total O. I think it was about 115 combined between the two schools. Yeah. So it looks like it's more like a boxing match going on down there. And I'm not surprised. I mean, both those teams are pretty good defensively. Did not play last year. Troy has just, okay, I just got word. I looked at my stats monitor. It was 6-0, but Kelly Bowmaster, our producer, says that Troy has just taken a 7-6 lead. There's a serve up in down the line there to Arnold, and it just does go out of bounds. Just did trickle off the touch line. There's Camden Arnold. Scored a goal here last Saturday night, the second goal of the match, assisted by Clay O'Bara. That opened up a 5-goal second half against Mount St. Mary's. Redirected, a little air game working for the Dukes. Bell takes a tumble. Foul on the Dukes. Bell a little slow to get up this time. 6 even, a sophomore. Came into the weekend ranked 4th in assists with 5 this season. So ball action there. Okiyoshi and puts it in. It's a 3-0 lead. Okiyoshi taking that ball in the midfield and drives all the way to the top of the 18, and he finds the net for the Thundering Herd for the 3rd time tonight. Marshall celebrates.
Yeah, that was a pretty impressive run. The Duke midfielder had a chance to win the ball at the bottom of the circle and didn't, and he just put his foot on the gas and drove to the top of the D.
Okiyoshi all smiles there. Yep.
Hit a cracker.
That's his first goal of the year, 3rd of his career. And this, just like Bell, is his 26th goal. Kukoviak trying to ride on the bumper there, but just couldn't get around.
Yeah, and even about 20 yards before that, there was a chance to win the 50-50 ball, and the JMU defender kind of backed off that.
Well, Dave, you're talking about what do you do when it's 2-0. And this particular goal was really not a result of what you're trying to press or trying to accomplish.
No.
Down 2-0.
That was just a breakdown defensively.
All right, so we understand that Tio Gadar has just been issued a yellow. So that is the 3rd yellow for Marshall. Make that the 4th. Dugan has one. Gadar has one. Bell and Pinto. And an explanation now going out to head coach Chris Grassi. Was named Marshall's head coach in 2017, 2-time Conference USA Coach of the Year, and led the Marshall Thundering Herd to back-to-back CUSA titles, and then, of course, to the national championship in the spring of 21.
Dimitri Turner getting ready to enter the game.
So Duke's in a bit of a desperation situation now, down 3 with just 31 and a half minutes to go. Turner. Dimitri is waiting on the sideline. Also, we'll see for the first time today, Cooper Noseworthy, a freshman from Manassas, Virginia, who will make his 4th appearance. He and Turner standing to get into the matchup. Also, Anis Lilon is standing down there too. I think he's also wanting to re-enter the match. JMU has reclaimed the lead in the football game at Troy, 13-7. There's Krakowiak. It's stepping in front and taking it away. Sterngard.
Getting chippy here. Yeah, the Dukes don't have much of a choice other than to really kind of go hard after the ball. They just have to be smart where they create these fouls.
And there's one against Robles. Dugan hits the turf.
This is what happens when a lot of cards start flowing. All of a sudden, the referee starts whistling stuff that he used to let go early in the game.
Yeah, he has to make a temper adjustment, basically.
Sure. Yep.
We saw that here in Tuesday's matchup.
Yep.
And there's a whistle. It looks like another card is going to come out.
Is that on Silva?
I think it was.
Yeah.
Not sure what Rodrigo is talking about, but he's going to show a little war wound, it appears.
The referee is nonplussed right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you cut yourself shaving.
Yeah. I thought he was going to bring out a little antiseptic there for a second, but I guess not. You'll leave that to the trainers.
Get the back team.
Robles will come over to the far side, and Clay O'Bara will start it off for the Dukes. O'Bara's been limited to touches tonight. Got Blanton. Up and a push inside and writhing in pain. That looks like that's P2. And he escorted over here to the near side for a conversation. I don't know if we got a chance to see what that was about, fellas. See if Tim Comer can re-rack that for us, see if we got anything on it. Tim, I'm sorry, Ty. Do that to you once every once in a while, don't I?
Didn't really see anything.
I didn't either.
Yeah.
Back it up.
Oh,
he did bring the hand around.
Did bring the hand around.
There's a little bit of a right hook there. And teams will go to the benches.
Yeah. And if that might be a PK red card.
It happened inside the 18. Does that matter, Dave, where that happens?
No, striking an opponent is usually a red card. Now, what they'll have to try to determine the intent. So they will take a look at
what we just showed you. In fact, there's a good crowd again on hand, over 1,100. And you also have a good number of folks on the opposite side. This is the second consecutive match that fans are sitting up on the wall on the opposite side of the field. Most of the spectators right down below us as we are perched on the Centera Tower. There's Coach Paul Zazinski, Charlie Hubbard, and Nicholas Melville, his assistant coaches. There's some of the fans sitting up on the far side. Look, 8 out of every 10 looking at some type of digital device. All right, we're going to take a look at it once more for you here on our replay. So look, he just kind of wheels around, and it is a red card. And it's going to Godar. Obviously, Grassi not too pleased about the decision. Well, and here comes another card out of the shirt pocket. And that's going to go to the bench.
I think basically what the referee is saying is, I told you to tell them to tamp it down, and they're not.
So that changes the complexion of things a little bit here, because now you're playing a man up, just as the Dukes did on Tuesday.
Yep.
That the Dukes played with a man up for the final 10 minutes. Now, what they did in that case, where they were down 1-0, a lot of long service into the 18 and just trying to scramble for some shots. See if that approach, but you've got 30 minutes to work with.
So we get the restart from outside the area, playing a man up for almost a half an hour. So the Dukes can potentially find more offensive opportunities, move some players around in the attacking part of the field.
Godar, a midfielder. Whistle sounds, bodies move, and here comes the ball in, going towards right into the breadbasket of Perota. It's basically an easy catch for number 99.
Yeah, that was a service that needed to be out at around the 6-yard box, because there was a lot of Dukes in there to potentially head that.
Yeah, if you get set pieces now, you've got to make sure you have the utmost quality chances on those set pieces, particularly when you're down by 3. Almesh starts it. He has the first goal tonight. Bell has one tally. He's got a hat trick already this year.
He is really explosive.
He is. Strine knocks that down. Bell. He gets around Strine. Second line there for the Dukes, though, defensively. Krakowiak, a run, trying to get it up to Obara. Here comes some pressure again. Dukes continuously send a couple of guys up on Perota. Arnold just in the chase.
You know, what's impressive with Bell is not only his quickness and his ability to accelerate, he feels pressure. So wherever that pressure is, he's able to turn away from it very quickly. And the 1 or 2 steps, he's past that defender.
I mean, there are so many times where number 10 has 2 white jerseys right there beside him, and or even to the back of him, and he manages to wiggle his way through. So a couple of substitutes will come in. Alex Bamford, a 6'2 junior from London, England. Number 4 will venture onto the pitch for the visitors. Also, number 19, Nikola Slivich, a 6-foot senior from St. Petersburg, Florida. And Dukes also have a few substitutes getting back out for JMU. We'll get those in for you here in just a moment. As we do have Turner back out, Noseworthy. See Cooper for the first time today, and Lilon is back out, I do believe, for the Dukes.
Yeah, they've changed out both of the defensive center midfield right now.
Yeah, Strine is out. Kukoviak,
Handball.
I think.
Nope. What's going on here?
And the first touch of the night for Slivich. And a hard strike. A little confrontation there at the PK strike. Hold on, stop it. Conlon saying his jersey was grabbed, but oftentimes it's the retaliation that is seen. We'll see it. Here's the strike.
Little theater 101 on that one.
A little embellishment there. P2 to Turner. Far side, Lilon. Barra losing it in the double team. Well, kind of a no-look pass there, but he's for Turner
right there. Yep.
Moore tried to put it in. Struck strongly in a short hop. Turner taking a rare shot from distance. Dimitri, 5'11", 186-pound, career high for starts. Was 5 coming into this year, and this is start number 7 for him in 2023. Noseworthy sends it forward. Giving chase, and it's going to go off the end line. Keeper ball. 23-27 to go. As Dave said, the Dukes, this is wrapping up a 3-match homestand for JMU. Next is Georgetown. The next conference opponent is September 23rd at Coastal Carolina. Robles.
Larson around him.
That footed strike and knocked away. Second corner for JMU tonight.
Yeah, this is the objective now for JMU, is to find that extra attacking player that should be free or moving to be free. playing a short corner here.
Here comes the blast. Watch this. And it's too strong. Over the top. Again, Larson.
It's like a deflection.
Okay, got chipped over, so the Dukes will pick up another corner. This is number 3, 2 in quick succession.
The left-footed service by Leland.
Got to the near post, repelled back out. Robles, nice pass. Leland takes it deep and just does lose it off the end line. He was working to get a back angled pass. JMU Field Hockey tomorrow on ESPN+. The BC Eagles, Boston College Eagles in town to take on the Dukes. That's at noon tomorrow.
You sure it's Boston College?
Yeah, it's not the Bridgewater College Eagles. Which won their football game today. 41-12 over North Carolina Wesleyan. I attended that game. Scott Lim, the former center for the Dukes on the 2008 team. He was a senior that made it to the national semifinals. His team improved to 2-1 today.
I'll tell you what I've been in offsides. What I've been impressed with Marshall attacking is the quickness that their decision making is, but also their ability to their balance and be able to move the ball at speed, ride tackles, and still maintain possession of the ball. It's pretty impressive.
There's no disjointed aspects of their game at all.
No.
I mean, it's very smooth. And you talk about making decisions, it's almost like they don't have to make a decision. I mean, it's like being a third baseman. It's all reflexive.
Sure.
You know?
Sure.
I mean, that shows you just how well-oiled an offensive machine this is. And Marshall averaging over 3 goals per game and right there at it here today, leading at 3-0 as Evan Southern will check back in for James Madison.
We know for a fact he'll be motoring around up there.
They go for him right away. There he is. There's a long shot. Robles. Perota to the turf here at Centera.
Yeah, he's going to waste as much time as he can and that the referee will allow.
Thanks to Cody Lynn, the Sports Information Director for Marshall Men's Soccer, as well as Christian Howe here at James Madison. Christian struggling a little bit because the Orioles have lost back-to-back games to Tampa. And there's a header goal! Whoa, that came out of nowhere as Rodrigo Robles has his second goal in as many matches, and the Dukes are on the board.
Feel the impact of Evan Southern right away. Gets a ball out wide there, looks up, curls the ball in there, and Rodrigo Robles runs onto that from about 10 yards out and just finds the upper 90.
Yeah, he just does get it between the outreached hand of Perota and underneath the crossbar. So Robles, who went 2 years without a goal at home, goes less than 5 days with back-to-back goals. And now some additional life for James Madison.
Well, that's a tough ball he gave him. Tough ball he gave him.
Defense comes in. That's Dimitri Turner. Comes in from the midfield. Noseworthy. Plays it on the turf to Leland on the far side. Marshall goals coming in the 21st, the 56th, and the 59th minute. The Dukes get one here in the 71st. New player on the pitch, Mohamed Seydou, 5'11", out of Ghana. As we continue our trip around the globe. Leland wanted a quick start. The official wanted to spray and mark. Final from Pittsburgh, it was Pitt Panthers 3-0, 3-0, I should say, in volleyball tonight.
Good service. Hopeful.
Ball stays in play.
Yeah, it does stay in play.
You create chances in situations like that, as you say, Dave. Hopeful, but not that time for the Dukes. Ball hung up in the air long enough for the defender to come in.
Yep. Dukes have to keep the ball moving quickly to really keep readjusting.
Oh, nice ball in. Southern skating out was Perota. That was pretty nifty how he really deadened that ball coming in and chipped it up to himself. If that was with intent, that was a really good. Watch what he does here. Slides in, chips up, grabs it.
Pop sliding on second.
Yeah, that was pretty impressive. Well, 11 shots for the Thundering Herd, a team that averages 19. The Dukes up to 8 shots. Of course, they've been playing with a man up. So it's just under 30 minutes, or just over 30 minutes remain. P2 calling for it, and he's going to get it here on the right wing. On the back, he's going to overlap a bit. Send it at far post. Oh, bicycle try by O'Bara.
That's a really difficult skill to try to pull off. I applaud him for the effort. Yeah, left-footed service in. He backs up, sights it.
That was really, I don't think he could. He might have been able to get a header on it, maybe.
Yeah.
But I think the angle was still difficult just as much. O'Bara ranks 13th in the NCAA in shooting accuracy. 69% of his shots are on goal. His career best was in that shortened season of 21 when he put it on frame 57% of the time. Shots on goal just a +2 for Marshall, 7-5, but it is and that's a +2 in the category as well of goals. Under 15 minutes to go. Time running short on the home team. Leland.
So it's interesting, you know, we haven't called Matthew Bell's name in a while because he hasn't been in, because they can't afford to play. You know, he plays more offense than defense, I guess is the thing I'm trying to say. That they needed an extra person in there who would be able to run defensively as well as offensively.
Tripped up. That's going to bring a yellow.
That could be.
And that's a red, I do believe.
I think that's his first yellow.
That's his first. That
Yep.
is his first yellow.
Yep.
I beg your pardon. I was thinking it was Pinto that got the first, and I was thinking it was Almish, but no, that's not the case.
Yeah, Rodrigo could see him coming out of the corner of his eye, but he was a bit late, and that was.
Well, he did take quite a few tumbles there.
Yes, he did.
He was with a pretty full head of steam, rambling on through. He was already banged up a bit off the back earlier in today's match. He'll need that training table after tonight's setup.
Yeah.
Lelon will send it in for the Dukes inside the 18. Lots of bodies there headed out, though, by the Black. Turner. He got hit in the jaw. He is down. They do play on. And that is Noseworthy trying to track it down. He does save it. And it's going to whirl its way over and send out on the pass quickly. Sebastian Conlon, under 14 minutes to go.
I think Dimitri Turner might be sporting a bloody nose here.
Nose or busted lip. Yeah, one or the other. Ball slotted in just ahead of Arnold. And they will call a time. 13:36. Turner coming over. And looks like it is a busted lip. Morgan tending to it. They're playing on while Dimitri is,
it's 10 on 10,
being dealt with, given some medical attention. That's a foul on Rodrigo Robles.
If there's a rematch of these teams this year, there will certainly be some high emotions and no love lost.
Yeah, that was way off the ball.
Way off the ball and from behind. He's lucky to just get a yellow, honestly.
The Marshall bench pleading for a red right away. And tending to the down player. That's athletic trainer Kerry Francis out on the pitch for the Thundering Herd with 13:16 yet to go.
Still plenty of time for the Dukes to crawl back in this, but got to keep their wits about them.
On halftime down at Troy, it's 13-7. James Madison leading the Troy Trojans. Offense got a little going there in the second quarter. Trojans with 163 yards total offense to JMU's 155. Most of the offense for both teams in the air. JMU with 17 yards rushing. Troy a -14.
Yikes.
Yeah, the running game. Those defensive lines doing a job apparently. Dukes are in the second of 3 consecutive road games. They head to Utah State next week. Utah State losing last night to the Air Force Academy. Dukes went out to Weber a couple of years ago in Utah.
So Matthew Bell is back in.
Marshall football, by the way, today, idle. They've got Virginia Tech in Huntington next weekend.
Do we ever get a final of the Rutgers Tech game?
No, I was not monitoring that one.
Yeah, me neither.
Making sure personnel are all squared away.
They took the 1-for-1 on the injured player. That's why Bell was able to get back in.
Turner out back in there too for James Madison. And that goes in. save. Conlon didn't get as much on the running kick. Comes down to Bell's area. Foul. Oh, this is going to draw a yellow. No, it's a red. No, it's a yellow. I beg your pardon. Now there's the red.
And the coach. This is going to be really. This is going to really show up later on this week when they play Central Florida, which is a top 5 team. That's a very expensive red cards to 2 very good players. All right, 13 minutes. This could be interesting.
It is interesting in a variety of ways, as both the assistant coach and Bell will head to the locker room. Lelon will start it for James Madison. Slides it down the line. There's Southern. He was hiding out there on the touchline. He sends it in. We'll battle for it. And just does keep it in. He's hitting the turf. That's served across and headed out. Cocho was there inside the 6 for James Madison. Now it comes out to Turner. O'Bara makes the turn, sends it inside, headed out. That's a corner.
No, this is kitchen sink time for the Dukes.
Throw it all in there, right, Dave?
Yeah, exactly. Well, they have to. 3-1, 4-1, doesn't matter.
O'Bara, and that is kicked out. Dukes will have a throw in on the far side. Probably the littlest ball runner in the league. Just
yeah,
a lot of territory to cover there. Kevin Larson back in for James Madison, and Brian Amaro, a freshman from Brazil, played 3 games without a start.
So the Dukes have taken off a defensive center midfielder, added another attacking player, and they got both wings out very wide. They got to play with a little more urgency here.
Southern gives to Robles. Robles drops it down. Southern was moving more towards the goal as opposed to the baseline or the end line. And a substitute will come in as Joao Roberto, a 5'10" freshman from Brazil. He's making his 3rd game appearance, all coming off the bench.
So referee stopped the clock. Well, I guess for the substitution, I don't really understand why he's doing that other than he was taking his time to get off and just trying to kill the clock.
Yeah, Simone is coming off the pitch. Right now, Marshall would just be content with possession, and trip off the seconds. But the Dukes have the extra bodies. That's a bad pass.
Yeah, this is what they can't fritter away the time right now. Referee keeps stopping the clock for time wasting.
It's a long throw, and that's a bad throw. He threw it off 1 foot, I do believe.
Maybe they'll have to go over that in practice on Monday. I haven't seen that in 10 years, and I've seen him twice in 1 game.
You think when the game originated, they let them throw off 1 foot? Might be one of those things where, no, that's just not really fair. I mean, you see players that can throw it strongly off 2 feet are dangerous weapons.
Sure.
Hannah Cowling comes to mind for women's soccer. Was one of the best at it for James Madison. She was a corner player herself if it was anywhere near the 18. Well, a good number of Marshall fans here as they're chanting. Towed around, Roberto. Southern lost his footing on the turf. Materazzi sends it over Lilon, back to Materazzi. Now Robles will take it over from there.
Robles is like, you
go.
Defend, give me the ball.
Drops it down, Southern. Southern makes a move. He went down. I did not see the contact. We'll have to get back into the action here. Larson, 8.5 remaining. Slides it over. Noseworthy. Southern shoots it in. Comes out to Larson.
Hit it.
Larson didn't want to strike it there. Tried to leave it on a tee for Lilon. Here's a long strike, and it is way to the right.
Davide had visions of grandeur on that one. They're up 2 players. They have to keep the ball moving, and they have to find the open runner. They don't need to just lump balls into the box right now.
Yeah, that's that one play right there. Baroda gets a lot on it, even though he slipped on the turf. And that cost him 20, 25 seconds.
Yeah.
It's like going for a triple in the first out of the inning, right? Keep him at second base. Robles sends it in. Corner shot. Ooh, that had some wicked spin to it. But it shoots itself way wide to the left. But I think a lot of the ankle.
By driving deep in the corner like that, and we've talked about this before, it forces the defense to turn around and face their own goal. And while they're facing their own goal, they can lose sight of their marks running behind them. So you get a late arriving run by a midfielder, and then that's the kind of drop pass that creates those opportunities.
Southern giving challenge to Roberto. It's knocked away off the foot, though, of P2, a throw in. 6.5 minutes soon to show on the game clock. It's a foul on Materazzi. Mention the Dukes go to Georgetown in their next encounter. That'll be on the road as this wraps up a 3-game homestand. But next Saturday in Huntington, it's Central Florida. Currently ranked number 5, coming off the 2-2 tie against West Virginia yesterday at Hoops Family Field. A 7:15 start time at Marshall. So a big day. They've got the Virginia Tech Hokies in for football and then the soccer match that evening. That was last touch. They bounded off. They want Davide to come out, and they're going to send in Krakowiak. So Materazzi will come here to the sideline.
Yeah, they want a little bit more of their hands team on here, as they would say in football. So they got about 5 minutes to really try to push this, create some opportunities, get a finish.
I got Southern. Cocho is up there. Robles. There's Cocho. Draw some attention off to Southern. Southern fakes. Now takes it towards the baseline. Turns the corner. Kicks the angle in. And it's a keeper ball.
Yep.
It was out. It was 1-0 at halftime. It grew to a 3-0 score for Marshall. Dukes have been playing one man up since the 30-minute mark, and then go up another man. Now the Dukes push forward. Looking for a run for Southern. Perota takes his time. P2 over to Lilon. 3.5 to go. Thank our producer, Kelly Bowmaster, Ty Comer. They're over at the Atlantic Union Bank Center, and there's a ball inside the 18, but nothing to connect with. Now, this is our first soccer production with the crew, producer, director, graphics, all at the Atlantic Union Bank Center. We got our camera operators here, of course, with us. We're on site.
We're on site. We'll be jealous of them being over there in November.
That's right.
While we're wrapped up looking like the Michelin Man.
Yeah, we chatter our teeth, and they'll be nice and cozy nestled in the Atlantic Union Bank Center, home of the men's and women's basketball programs here at James Madison. Southern keeps it in play. Can't quite get around the corner. Dave, I'm watching you as a former coach. You're not really feeling like they're getting these quality opportunities.
No, I think if this ends up at 3-1, Coach Zazinski's going to feel that they really didn't take advantage of the two-man up.
There's a shot, then it's wide right. And shots are now tied at 12 apiece, which is handicapped a bit because of the personnel situation for Marshall. .123 to go. O'Barr trying to run underneath. Spins off the touchline, gets it inside.
Good defending.
Yep, and then left back, so it could be kicked well out of bounds. Quick throw in for the Dukes. 1 minute to go. There's a long shot block, comes right back out. That's just a collision of two. They're going to call a foul, though, on Larson. Well, Bild is one of the marquee matchups across the country, of course, in the Sun Belt. A lot of Sun Belt teams interested in the outcome of this one. As Marshall will make its way back to Huntington.